Hi, and welcome back to the top 100 games of all time, according to the Purge reviews. Right now, we're in the top 20, so we're going to be counting down 20 through 11. How exciting is this? Right now, we're trying to get over 500 subscribers. We're pretty darn close, but when we get to 700, we're going to be giving away a copy of the Manhattan Project Chain Reaction Deluxe Edition, brand new in shrink. I'd be happy to give this away to one of our lucky viewers when we get to 700 subscribers. We're really close, guys. And I know with a little bit of encouragement, I think that we can get there. And I'm just ecstatic to be here to tell you about my top 20 games today. So let's talk about number 20. This is a game that has given me my single best gaming experience ever twice. That's Pandemic Legacy Season 1. Absolutely love and adore this game. For a gaming experience, it would be number 1 on this list. But due to the fact that once I'm done, I can't play it again without buying a complete new set, which I have done twice, it limits itself. Now, that doesn't mean that it's not a great game or a great experience. It just means that it doesn't have that ongoing factor. Now, look, guys, I bought this game twice. I probably spent about $100 on this game, and I probably played 30 to 40 times, which is astronomical to how many I play other games, right? So I definitely got my money's worth. That's not the argument. It's just I have this great story from the first time I played 2 players with my wife, and a great story I played 4 players with my friends, and it's over. So be it. And if you look at it as one really long game, I got to play it once, although there were a lot of mini games inside. But Pandemic Legacy is the wonderful experience with Pandemic. Number 19 is Star Wars Imperial Assault. And I guess this could also be Descent because they're really the same game. But my experience in playing it has just been with Star Wars Imperial Assault. Now, I've had a hard time keeping a group together to play this. I can't get the guys to come over. I had a group playing it, and then that couple broke up, and they didn't want to come over and play games. So it just didn't work out. But I've had a great story or campaign what I had going on. I want to go back to this. I'm waiting on that app to come out so I can play solo. This is just a phenomenal game that I really, really like. It does the Star Wars universe really well. I haven't played Rebellion yet. Spoiler alert, it's not higher on this list. I haven't played it yet. But Star Wars Imperial Assault gives me a lot of Star Wars in a box. I have a lot of fun with all these missions and scenarios going on. Most of them feel like a race or a time. I'm okay with that. I hope with the app that this game will stick in my top 20 for a very long time. Number 18 is my go-to adventure game, Eldritch Horror. It's taken Arkham Horror and kind of smashed it down. Now, when I got into gaming, Arkham Horror was already kind of a popular game, so I kind of got in on the tail end of that. But Eldritch Horror, I got it when it was brand new, and I've been able to add the expansions on, and that plays a big part. If you jump into a game like Arkham Horror, sure you can wait and not play the expansions, but you know they're out there, so you kind of rush to get them and play them and interact with them. With Eldritch Horror, I've got to take my time. I really like this game. It really tells a story, and I really like that about that. This globe-trotting to stop the great ones. If you're looking for a nice Halloween horror-themed game, you can't go wrong with this one. Number 17 is Game of Thrones 2nd Edition. Now, this is the kind of war game that I like, where there's alliances being met and made and broken. I have some of my greatest gaming stories ever centered around this game. Spoiler, I've never lost, and I played the Lannisters 3 times. I've never played anybody else. Every single time it was random, I got the Lannisters. I heard the weakest, and I just got phenomenal stories with this game. I was taught this game by the Undead Viking, Lance. He taught me this, and I played it with him, and it was just so much fun. He was a Stark, and he was role-playing it out, and so were his buddies who I got to play with, and it was just one of the best gaming experiences I've ever had with this game. I like Game of Thrones the show. I'm a fan of that. I wouldn't say a big fan, but a fan. I know what's going on, and I just really, really enjoy it. My number 16 is regular Pandemic. Now, I had a little bit of conscience here. They are 2 separate games with 2 different experiences, but really they're the same game. I could see Pandemic falling a little bit on this list. I don't know because I played the Legacy so much that I want to go back to it. I think I need to bring in, I haven't played with any of the expansions, although I have them with Pandemic, so I really want to get those to the table. And I think I'm finally to the point where I start wanting to experiencing Pandemic with the expansions. If I don't, I feel like it's going to fall on this list. But if you're looking for a good cooperative game, do not listen to anybody that says this game is played out. It may be played out for them. This is a wonderful starter gateway game to get people going. It's sold in Target. It's selling at Target. It's a gateway game. It's phenomenal. Number 15 is one of my favorite games. If you had told me, I probably would have guessed it was in my top 5, although it looks like it fell to my number 15. That's Star Trek Fleet Captains. I'm not a huge Star Wars. I've seen only the original series. I watched it with my daughter start to finish. She was in and out. I've only been to go watch some of the Next Generation. I really haven't watched any of it. I'm kind of spotty on the movies also. Yet I really like this game. And although I'm not the biggest Trekkie in the world, I feel like it's Star Wars in a box. It gives you a little bit of everything. It's not just combat. You got adventures going on. The Klingons tend to be a little bit more. You can play this up to 3 players now, maybe even 4. And it works. It just works. And I really like this game. It's not a hard game to teach, but there's just a lot of little rules involved in it. It's a bigger game, but the main game is 2 players. I mainly play it 2 players, and I highly, highly recommend this one. It's got a little bit of a price tag on it. There were some production issues when it first came out, but this game is worth searching out. Number 14 is Viticulture. This is a game that I learned that I was sandbagging a year later. The first time I taught it, I was pretending like I wasn't getting it, being very meta. Ended up shooting to the top and winning. And I was talking to Pedro, I think, during one of these videos, and he was like, "Really? You were faking it the whole time?" I'm like, "Yeah, I was faking it." After I got it. At first, I wasn't. But Viticulture is just a really fun game about preparing wine, and leaving it on the vine longer makes it more valuable. But when you want to cash in, it's important too. Maximizing your efficiency and actions. This is a wonderful, wonderful game. You really, really, if you're going to get this, go ahead and get the expansion. It has everything. I don't know about the essentials that just came out. It supposedly just has the good stuff in it. But I would recommend getting the big box, the Tuscany expansion. It's wonderful. You have so much to throw in there. You can kind of pick and choose what you like and throw some things in there you never played before. And it has a little bit of a legacy inside of it, though not really. Number 13 is Dead of Winter. Now, I'm surprised this one ended up being ahead of Battlestar Galactica. I think the trader mechanic is better in Battlestar Galactica, but I really like Dead of Winter. Now, most of the time, we kind of just play this cooperatively. The trader hasn't been in the game all that much. I think if I'm going to get one of these, I'd probably go ahead and get the Long Night, because I like the scenarios that are in it. But they're so similar. It's really hard for me to say one over the other. I would say Long Night because it has some newer stuff in it. But the base game is just as good. I didn't break them up in this because I feel like they're really the same game. But Long Night is a great game. It has a zombie theme on it. But it's much more that post-apocalyptic. I mean, the zombies could just as well as be raiders or something, which is included in the Long Night version. Wonderful game. Number 12 is a new one. Now, I've played this game a lot, and I wonder how over time how it's going to stand up. We have another Stonemaier game on here, very high. It's Scythe. I really like how the players are asymmetrical, how you have different goals that you're going after, how there's like 10 things you can score, 12 or whatever it is, but you only need to score 6 stars to win. That is just a great thing, and you kind of build your technology of your guy up differently, giving you different rounds. There's some interaction in the game. Combat is limited, but you can get these advances that allow you to get things on other people's turns that are set to the left and right of you. I really like this one. It's one of those few games that actually lived up to the hype. It's really kind of an area control resource game, but it breaks down a lot of boundaries and barriers. That's Scythe. Number 11 is Power Grid. Believe it or not, Oasis and Power Grid were my gateway games. I played with this game with a guy from church. Power Grid is the game. Oasis, I was like, wow, this is interesting. Power Grid is the game that I was like, man, I want to get into this hobby. I went home, I found the Dice Tower, and history's kind of been there for me since then. It was Power Grid that lasted me on. I was like, wow, games can be different. I have an economics background. I love the supply and demand. There were no rolling dice. There were no spinners. There's very little luck, or at least what I thought was luck at the time. And I was just mesmerized by the supply and demand, how we were dictating the price and the value of goods throughout the game based on what we purchased in auction and what we wanted to store and kind of hoard for ourselves. or just to keep it from our opponents. It was just a wonderful, wonderful experience. I liked the catch-up mechanic, and I didn't really know what that was at the time, but how you wanted to kind of hang back a little bit was truly fascinating to me. Well, that ends our list today. Next time, we're going to hit the top 10 games of all time. I do want to tell you to please subscribe to the channel. It's really easy. It's just a button down below. If you like what you see, I have a lot of different videos that come out. We got playthroughs, we got openings, we got commentary, we got top 10s, we got top 100s now. We've got lists. We really just like to talk about board games. And this channel right here is a little bit of everything. I thank you so much for tuning in, taking your time to watch this list, commenting on it, subscribing, and being a part of the channel. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time at the Purge Reviews.